What up, King Mumbles? We're live. Um, Doing another interview. We got two interviews today. Um, this first one, underground rapper. Hold on. Let me see if he's here. Yeah, not yet. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me send him the link again. Hello. Bring him in. Yo, yo. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Good timing. Good timing. All right. So let's start it off. This is Holding Court with King Mumbles. Thank y'all. Basically, as you know, with this, we do interviews with people of interest in industries that I'm passionate. So hip hop is one, battle rap. I do wrestling, entrepreneurs for small businesses. So today we've got a gentleman. Became a fan of him watching his TikToks or whatever, the duets. So, you know, my kind of hip hop. And I've been watching his development. So I wanted to do the interview. Introduce yourself to the people, let them know who you are and what you do.
All right. How you doing, everyone? My name is Gregg Smiff. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and basically what I do is I write lyrics, basically kind of customize into the producer's beats that I've come across on TikTok, and I also dabble a little bit in production myself, but primarily I have been having more development in penning and writing down lyrics and stuff like that. So just been able to elevate my skills per se when it comes to rhyming, and been able to translate that in a recording sense. So um, just been practicing more on having more of a presence in the studio, having more of a solid word delivery and bars to kick over these beats. Basically, just continue customizing, and that's what I do.
Okay. So, how long have you been rapping for, like doing music and stuff? Like,
Uh, Basically, dating myself. I've been rapping since I want to say 90 mid 90s, uh, in the 1990s. That is, that's when I pretty much first started uh,
mhm.
like rapping, but like got more serious as it went along throughout the years. I always stuck to it. Just never really took it really serious. I just always was just writing to basically show that I can do it. It was always something that I want to prove to myself. Uh, Initially, I felt like it would translate into the world hearing it, but I didn't have any high hopes on if anybody else hear my rhymes. It was basically they were just like notes to myself, personal notes.
Okay. And so, have you released anything, or is it right now just building up? Like,
I had a couple of releases that's been through different channels. When I first started, I was working with an artist by the name of Chris Cap, and
mhm.
he had released mixtapes. I want to say it was probably in the 2000s around that time, and when he released his mixtapes, I had joined him along a couple of records, and then
Okay.
shortly after that, I had basically cut a record with a DJ that I went to high school with, and we were able to cut a record, and he was able to release that into the public through his channel. His name is Jeff the Illis, and he's a
Okay.
DJ from Chicago. He had introduced me to his particular crowd with a record that I've cut with him. That was a Tim Tap record. If anyone has heard that, I don't know if it's on YouTube or anything. I don't believe I put it on YouTube, but it's through his channel on Spotify on his Late Night Experience Volume 2
Okay.
album. So through I want to say that's probably like the only few things that I've released. I have been working with
Mhm.
other producers to release, but it's basically just at a building stage. Like I'm building to actually make proper releases. It's just would rather do it uh, through the proper channels and have those sufficiencies met with the proper paperwork and things in order to um, become a recipient of the revenue that it could possibly gain.
Oh, okay. So, as I said, like I found you out through the TikTok, and I don't know if you remember that, but we actually have like one duet done together. One
Yes,
of the ones that we used to do. How
yes.
long have you been on TikTok doing those?
I want to say it's probably been a little bit over 2 years now. Um, I always approach those particular duets uh, with fun. Like I know which one specifically you're talking about, Beat Killer.
Yeah.
Uh, that was really fun. Like it was like it was something that I did because I could vividly remember on my way to work one day, and I'm scrolling through to TikTok as I'm walking in the direction of where my job is at, and
Mm.
I hear the beat, and like it just like overcame me at that particular time. So it was
Yeah,
just like when I was like in like full of excitement just hearing that beat, and like
yeah,
as I was going to work walking, like when I walk, I think, I guess I think better when I'm on my feet. So
yeah,
as I'm walking to work, like I'm coming up with a break as I'm like, it's a beat killing. What it is, and then I was like, I remembered it. I was like, I have to remember this break. So when I get home, I can record it, and then I want other MCs to join in on a duet because it felt good at that time. And I think we did this. It was probably like a year and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken, how long it's
yeah.
been since that been released.
It's been
But
a while. Yeah,
yeah, it's been like, I want to say about 2 years. But yeah, it was fun for me, and I know it was fun for others to join, and that's what I wanted to bring to that side of TikTok, where it was like, a bunch of MCs collaborating, and we're not signed artists and things like that. So things like that would it's it feels good to know that you're kind of within a specific class of MCs or rappers who have come out in a specific period. So, for all of us who was able to jump on that beat killing, shout out to Sam Poetry, by the way, that was the producer for the beat. Um, he,
so
yeah.
mhm. So, what brought you like onto TikTok and doing those? Like, did somebody tell you that they have these, or you were just on there and you seen one? Like, how did you get started? Like the duets and stuff.
Um, I want to probably point to it being like a outlet for me. It was more of, let me prove to myself that I cannot be afraid of the reflection at which I will see, which will be myself.
Hmm.
So, like, I'm heavily critical of, when I make drops. I don't put it out unless I feel like I'm like in pocket with cadence, or like I'm really having a fabulous time MCing over that particular beat. So like I don't put it out in the essence of just to be trying. Like I'm doing it for the sake of knowing that this is me practicing recording, and what would it take to translate that into the studio. So when you do that, you're basically sharp with your skill. You'll go into the studio with that in mind, of being sharp on the microphone and recording and having a good presence over the microphone. So that's what my approach was initially with doing the duets. And when I started doing it, it was like, um, I think I was more like visiting YouTube and different producers that was on YouTube. Basically, when I was in my production phase, like listen to producers, and a lot of them would say they were on TikTok. So when I finally joined TikTok, I tried the feature, which was the duet, because I've seen, I want to say, who was that? Kato on the track.
I know.
Uh,
Yeah.
when he blew up the young lady, it was just like, oh, I see where this direction is going. So it was just like, if I would look at it from like, hey, I can make an attempt to, try to reach out to the world and maybe have some type of attention brought my way by doing duets. So I consistently started to do them, and as I went along, I started to come across other MCs and other producers, and I became fascinated with their artistry, and basically just start building bonds with people and showing love as they show me love, and so forth and so on.
Yeah, like with me, because like when I asked you how long you've been doing it, because your sound is similar to my generation as well. I'm older as well. Like
Yeah,
uh, I hadn't, because I had my kids and stuff. I hadn't done hip hop in like over a decade. Like I had retired and stuff. So I was telling people I'm doing that to get in the practice of having to write every day again
yes,
and to get my breath control up, to rap to a whole verse. Like I haven't rapped a whole verse strong in like years. So,
yeah.
but the development is great. Um, what kind of connections have you been able to make, and what kind of feedback have you gotten from doing the TikToks?
Connections are wonderful. I actually have individuals' emails and phone numbers and talk to them from time to time. Actually had one friend that was working here in Chicago area, and we got up and basically just did it like a quick laugh, just to show everybody that like we're meeting up, and it was a great feeling that day. Producers wise, I have linked with a few producers. Um, I basically like gather information from them and talk to them or reach out to them from time to time or looking for shopping for beats, and I basically haven't come up with what I'm trying to initially do because I haven't been able to like revisit that. I haven't been really been making the time, but I know that um, I be re-emerging into making the time lately as of late. So now I'm really like getting back into my groove to where I'm able to put on all the hats again. I kind of had like took a step back, as even especially with writing. Um, so now I'm feeling a little bit better as far as having that sense of a consistent push when it comes to being in contact with producers, securing beats, securing studio time, recording those particular songs, writing those songs, and having a strategic marketing plan that will be set behind when it comes to promoting it and getting it to have more eyes on it than I could imagine. That's what I'm aiming for.
So, how would you describe your sound, or the sound that you want to produce?
Yeah. It's that Windy City Kid spit style. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why I created that hashtag Windy City Kid spit is because it's basically a it's like a recognition. Like when you hear somebody from Chicago, they got either one style one way or a style another way, but they all spitting. So like
Mhm.
that's why I came up with that particular hashtag because it represents us all, every Chicagoan that are MCing out there. So my style is that, and it's just basically the mixture of what it is. Like Chicago is that mixture pot of different elements and different flavors. And you got your best from what it sounds like it could be from the East Coast, your best of what it sounds like it could be from the South, your best of what it sounds like it could be from the West and the Midwest, of course. So I believe I have deep roots in being versatile and being able to tap into those different elements. So, Windy City Kid spit.
So, being from Chicago and Chicago, I've actually interviewed somebody from Detroit. Chicago and Detroit, they have a very similar thing of you've had artists like that have popped up into popularity, but you haven't had like the mass time of having the scene.
Hmm.
What is the Chicago scene like, and like how come like we don't get like hordes of them at the same time. Like, you had like, what is it, crucial conflict
Yeah, I see
in
what you're saying.
like, yeah.
I would
What is
probably accredit that to um, people actually having the fortitude to do the work. You have everybody in Chicago who maintains the discipline. From what I've seen, as far as like scene wise, the only way I'm able to view any Chicago scenery in hip
Mhm.
hop is through the eyes of. I want to give my man a shout out, GQ the teacher, and he's basically a Chicago staple who is in tune with any artist that's been in and out of Chicago. And then there's other artists like Vic Spencer, and then you have um, the names that they're rolling they're like on the tip of my tongue. I can't um think of their names to mention, but there are some artists that I'm seeing in Chicago who's keeping that gritty underground straight street Chicago, you know, things that you seen and witnessed and know if you're a Chicagoan, that particular scene is thriving, and it has a very good push with the artists that are taking the forefront and doing that. Um, it's like I said, it's pretty much a lot of names, and they're intertwined with pretty much like the name states that you could think of, like a Crucial Conflict or Twister or Psychodrama or groups like that. So yeah, it's very much of a thriving scene, but it doesn't get the eyes because of the the politics of the marketing and how marketing could play a vital role in people getting their eyes or getting eyes placed on them for the reason of it being a specific scene. So once we get
Oh
people to
yeah,
start working
I'm,
on looking
I'm
out
from
for people.
Toronto. I'm from Toronto, and before Tory Lane, people didn't know that we rapped up here.
Yeah,
Like, like they didn't. So we're just getting people looking up north now and stuff. So I understand that.
yeah,
Um, so and I did see that you do some beat, and you said that you do a little bit of beat making there. So
yes.
are you just learning, or what would you? Are you a producer, or what would your status with beat making be?
I probably would say I'm more of a hobbyist in that regard. I have had production that I've concentrated on when it came to instrumentation, layering, sequencing, and things of that nature. But not having the equipment, my basic start off was at FL Studio. Transitioned over to garage band because once you learn one discipline, one place you know it on pretty much any DAW that you put your hands on. So
Yeah.
I was able to like make a few beats on my garage band, but of course it's on an iPad, which is limited of space and storage and stuff like that. So I kind of hit a wall to where the limits of my production could have been as far as like hitting that wall. It could have been limitless per investing in equipment and having a space to operate. Since those are not available for me at this particular time, I pretty much focused on writing. I'm always able to sit down and think. So a lot of my energy has been shifted to becoming a writer.
Yeah.
So um, beats still live in me. Like I would love to produce beats. I believe that some equipment in front of my face and some pads to touch and some records to listen to and sample and cut and chop. I probably will flourish in that as far as putting the time and effort into it. So they still in me.
Okay. So So who? Okay, I always ask. I'm gonna think, who would be your top five?
Hmm.
Everybody,
The
everybody answer.
question that every probably rapper wants to avoid as far
Yeah.
as top five. Okay, I'll go with the reason why. I'm gonna start from five and then I'll go to one.
Mm,
So in my fifth position, as far as um, rappers that are my top fives, I'm gonna have to go with Cool G Rap due to the fact that Cool G Rap is just Cool G Rap. He's one of those ones
mm,
that have the rappers that have this style that is not only potent but it's very, what I'm saying, like visual. My next um on number four position now. I'm not. I really don't really have a particular order, but I have to put these in order since we're gonna have the top five. My next one is gonna be at number four. We're gonna go with KRS-One, and
okay.
these are a lot of rappers that I've grown up and listened to, and basically hold a good like they're good in my book as far as like what I hold as far as good great rappers, um great MCs too. um and this is not to mention, like, if I was to add five more, I got five more, but we're
Yeah.
gonna go with top five. So number three for me is, this was a hard one, but we're gonna go with Black Thought from the Roots as number three in position, and then number two for me, we're gonna go with Andre 3000, because when he hit the industry, it was like, let's just listen to a poet able to, express himself the way he was. Like, I really latched on to a lot of his rhyming style. And then number one for me is Nas, because rekindling listening to Nas basically raised me through high school, and he got me through a lot of um,
Yeah.
riveting situations that I survived. So Nas is definitely key in my life, and that's why I put him up there as one.
Okay, that's a pretty solid list. Like, um, a lot of people. It's only recently that Black Thought has been getting his love. A lot of people don't, and I think because you hear Roots and you think of it as a group, that they
Right.
don't sit down and listen to him what he's rapping, because like he's always had on point and his flow is crazy.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, that's why he up there for me. And like I said, if I was to add five more, what I'm saying, there was some names that I didn't mention, and honorable mentions are like names that people don't even talk about anymore. So it's just like, I'm gonna have to give them their flowers when I'm gonna have to say Method and Redman and Buckshot Shorty from, saying Black Moon, AZ, the list goes on and on for me.
you know what to God. One that I always hold to. I don't know where he's in my top five, but I hold him. And one of the reasons I put him there is because not enough people do. I feel Buster Rhymes don't get enough of his respect. Like there's
Yeah,
like I tell people, there's nobody that's been around from when he started till now, and if you put him on a feature, he's gonna probably kill you. Like
yeah,
he did it on scenario. Like yeah, so he's like he's like one of them. And when I've seen him perform live, that's crazy.
yeah. I agree with
Um,
you about Buster.
yeah. So what's the what is the close plan, the short term plan, and the long term plan like?
Okay. The short term
Oh,
plan is like, I don't know if I'm still kind of hesitant as far as like short term releases when it comes to being able to give the consumer something to consume. I definitely want to do that,
Mhm.
but my short term goal is to basically have everything legitimized, so
Right.
that there can be an easy transition for me to continue to bring more, whereas there be visual content along with the audio content. So I definitely want to be able to give um, my energy into this EP that I'm working on with Damon Flores, and I'm not sure how many songs we were planning on doing. I'm quite sure it's going to be in between 5 and 7 as far as for EP. And once we connect with one another and hash out of the things that we want to do as far as when it comes to beat selection and like that things like that. What I have taken care of on my end is being able to secure studio sessions and things like that. So getting these particular recordings recorded, sending him the stems so that he can mix and master, and start from there. Long term goal. Uh, I initially want to do this project that I probably feel like it's my life's work, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do more than one, but I am looking to release something in the near future, whether it be my life project or it's me um, taking a seat back and working as a producer and doing other things within industry, whether as sync music for video games, movies, television shows, anything of that nature. I look to still be working in the capacity of music. So that's what's I got going on for the future.
Okay. So, with the music that you'll be coming out, like, do you know, like, are you like a storyteller? Do you, you know,
Oh yeah.
punchlines? Is it like club songs? Like, what are you?
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you something to think about. I'm gonna give you a glimpse into my life, uh, a glimpse into how I think, um, perspectives of um, what it would be like if I was an individual who lived a different life. I also have some stories, and we're gonna have songs that are geared towards the cultural upbringing, and I want to say probably like geared more towards the uh, the culture of hip hop itself. So that's where I'm aiming to have this particular body of work reflect. That it's going to reflect our culture. It's going to reflect who I am as a person, and who I am as an artist.
Okay. So speaking about the culture, because we're from the same generation, and I was telling somebody it is very interesting. Of we are probably the first generation of hip hop that's not aging out. Like,
Yeah.
like we're the first. Like it didn't become too old to us. Our rappers are still rapping.
Hmm.
So with this change, we just came 50 years. What are your thoughts on the industry or the culture of hip hop going on right
But
now?
it's two things that I understand. You got hip hop, which is a culture, and then you got hip hop, which is the business. What we're
Mm,
being what we're being fed as consumers is the hip hop business. We're not being taught the cultural values of hip hop and what hip hop represents. So that's why I believe I come in as far as being a teller, and I follow the footsteps of the ones before me, like a KRS One, like a
mm,
Chuck D, like those who are able to speak without being afraid. So I don't agree with the business side, but I am aware that I could use the business side to my advantage to have a reach to more people, to at least uh, sway them or try to convince them that the cultural aspect of it is where it really is, and the business side of it is just this gimmick that they're force feeding us to believe what is hip hop. Because you can look at it today, the climate today, they're still categorizing things as hip hop when it's clearly just people talking over beats, and it's given this particular music that is, um, in my understanding, has these particular frequency tones that are scrambling the brain patterns and the and of people, and like they're really giving people these frequencies that are not aligned with who they are as humans. So um, you got the results of, like I said, people talking over beats, and like it's no disrespect or disregard to the artistry of it. It's just that most of it is negative, and since it's negative energy, it's not conducive of helping our culture thrive in the respect that it deserves, which is the pure artistry of it, not just because you can make money, you can, or like money is this and money is that. Like that particular root of it is just it's an extra. That's an extra when you think about being able to provide for your families or provide yourself a great lifestyle. But at the same time, look at what it's doing to people. Look at how people are turning these particular lifestyles, and they're at risk when their lives are at stakes and things like that. So I hope my music doesn't, trigger that particular, evoke that emotion. I want people to feel great and know that, there's some good music that could last the test of time, that you're going to be able to listen to 5, 10 years, 20 years from now. So that's what type of impact I want to leave.
Yeah, I've always said like I go because like '90s ones like Jay Z and them, they were like the first to really push the importance of money. But I
Hmm.
go, the difference between them and what's going on now is they had already built the foundation of having the skill and the art of it, and then it just became, if you can hustle hard enough, it didn't matter if you are good. Like
Yeah.
I don't mind someone putting in the work and hustling for their money, but some new people love the of not caring. I think
Yeah.
the mentality of not caring about the art, not caring like about the culture. Like we're from an age of, if somebody came up to you and said like you're whack, you're the worst MC, like you would take offense to that. You'd have to defend yourself as a rapper, like right there and stuff. Now, as long as you sell more than that person, you being looked at as whack, they don't care.
Right.
Which, yeah,
It's backwards. It's like it just shows that I feel like it's almost like the app TikTok. Like what I've learned is to be accepting of everyone, but at
yeah,
the same time, I can't be critical of feeling like if your delivery wasn't met well with my ears, I could tell you that. And I
mm,
shouldn't, it shouldn't be conceived as me hating or um, I don't like you. Maybe I just didn't like what you did right then and there. That don't mean that I don't like you. You know, that's what I learned. Like I've learned to be patient with art and how art is delivered, because you have to have the ear for it, for one, when especially when it's being expressed in poetry form. You have to
yeah,
have the ear for it, and you have to have the patience to understand that it could be literal or not literal. And people could be speaking in tongues, or they could be speaking in third person, or they're doing something to get a point across, is what I've learned. So always in that regard with that. But at the same time, when we're looking at the climate of when myself and yourself as an MC, and we do pretty much, do good music and stuff like that, and we'll see someone who's probably doing, who just started rapping like literally 2 months ago,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, they got like 30,000 followers, hundreds of thousands of streams and stuff like. And we're sitting here scratching our head like, damn, I've been on this place for 2.5 years. I've been doing my music or doing stuff like this for a couple of years now, and this person comes up with this particular. Now, I wouldn't say that it's great, but like you said, when it comes to the analytics of it and how many people like it and viewed it, and viewed it as something that's appropriate, these particular apps take notice to that, and then they be like, oh, that's what we should open up to the world to see, instead of giving
Yeah.
those particular regards to people who are actually really good at doing it. So yeah, I see it. I see it all the time. I'm not the one to complain about it, because I'm going to stay in my lane, and I know that if I gain a following from me staying in my lane, those are the people that I'm grateful for. Those are the people that I will continue to give my energy to and show love to them as much as they show to me.
Perfect. All right. So those basically are the questions there. Open up, or you wanna tell them where to check you out on social media
Yeah,
or
you can.
anything like that?
Appreciate it very much, King Mumbles. You can check me out on TikTok, Gregg Smiff. That's GREGGSMIFF. That's my name. I'm also up on Instagram, same name. I don't do too much on Facebook. Sometimes I post the reels on there. Um, Same name, Gregg Smiff. I think one of them has a dot in between it. I'm not sure. I believe it's the Instagram, Gregg, GREGG dot SMIFF. And you'll probably see me on TikTok again and again, because, like I said, I'm feeling the urge to continue to show that I do have a skill. And I want to thank you for liking my drop. I actually dropped that today. That was something that I actually did today, and it
Oh,
was one of those. It was one of those feelings that I just wanted to, you know, continue to show that, hey, your buddy Gregg is still around, and I still got the knack to do this. So
actually, one more
that's
question.
where.
How long does it usually take you, like from when you hear a beat
Uh-huh.
to write and record it? How long does it usually take you to do that? Do you do
Um,
it all in one day? Or-
Pertaining to this particular beat, it wasn't done all in one day. It was me listening to that beat for roughly about 4 days consistently,
Okay.
like every day, 4 days. I want to say about in the second and a half, third day, I started writing something to it. And then I left it alone, because it was just like I wanted to make sure that I was able to secure the hook. So I
Okay.
concentrated on, I want to say about the second and third day, I made sure that I secured the hook. And then um today is the day when I actually finished the verse. Like I
Okay.
started the verse and I finished it today. Like because I already had the hook. Once I had the hook, it was like now I can easily express uh the connection to the hook, and it don't take me long. I mean, like, it's done within a day. So within a couple of hours, I'm not spreading it out, but like once I'm feeling it and it comes to, it's definitely within the hour of conception.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
just wondering that, but yeah, we will have his social media links in the description.
Okay.
Definitely check out his TikToks. That I've been following it for like almost 2 years now. Definitely, like if you like that MC type stuff, he definitely has some drops for you. Producers, you can get at him and all that, and rappers get at him for beats.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much, King
No problem.
Humbles.
All
All
right, I'll
right.
let you later.
All right. Peace.
Peace. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. King's Court Network, holding court with Mumbles. Got a couple of, we got one interview tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Michigan battle rapper Joey Linwood. You can look him up online, check out some of the battles. Tomorrow, I be sitting down with an independent wrestling federation. It's called Magnificent Championship Wrestling. I think they're out of Barry. And we got a few coming up this week. So, make sure y'all follow along. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share the link. Peace.